Welcome back to the Digital Weekly. It's our first edition of 2015. This is the video that's accompanying our first pitch in that Digital Weekly. You probably, if you're a regular Digital Weekly subscriber, you notice that we changed formats this issue. It looks a lot more like what we do with our regular digital edition of our print magazines. So we're kind of excited about doing that. Something that we're familiar with, and we think we can give you guys a really strong product that way. And for this first video, we're drawing back to the end of 2014, when one of the best stories out of December was Campolindo football and their comeback win at the state championship football and the Division CIF Division III State Bowl championship. It came on the heels 3 days after their longtime athletic director and coach, Bob Wilson, passed away after a long battle with cancer. It was an extremely emotional win for them. It was a 21-point comeback. They were down 28-7 with only about 15 minutes left in the game, and they ended up winning 35-28 on a long 85-yard fumble return in the final minute. We were alerted this past week that there's going to be a celebration of life here at Campolindo for Bob Wilson, and we wanted to get the word out with that, and we wanted to just to spend some time. We decided to come spend some time at Campolindo High and let some of the people that knew Bob best talk about what he's meant to the school and what he's meant to Campolindo athletics. It's a pretty neat story, and we're happy to bring it to you, and we will definitely give you the information on the celebration of life for anybody who wants to come and pay their respects to what was obviously a tremendously successful life and a tremendously successful influence on high school athletics, and not just Campolindo. He spent plenty of years out in West Contra Costa County, coaching in Richmond at Kennedy High School, and now closed Harry L's. So he's touched a lot of people in Bay Area athletics, and we thought we'd bring you this story. When you hear Bob Wilson's name, what are some of the things that come to mind for you?
Well, a mentor. Yeah, I was coaching a long time before I came to Campo, but still, I never looked at him as a peer. It was great to have him here as someone in the community that had connections with the community, a staff member, and someone that would coach football, because he's the only other person that we've ever had on campus that's coached football with me. And then also the fact that he was an athletic director, just the level of depth that he had in the community and the support he gave to everyone, and me as a coach as well. And then willing to be the freshman coach, that's not an easy job. Bob was that perfect person that made everyone feel comfortable, at ease. The moms knew their kids were protected. And I give him a lot of credit for us being able to build this program, because if you don't have the right person to introduce the game to these kids, they never make it to us at the varsity level.
First word, when I hear Bob Wilson's name, I think respect. I mean, he's respected statewide, an athletic director. He's lifted Campolindo to what our English teacher, Scott Brady Smith, actually called his tenure the golden era of Campo sports. I think as an educator, coach, he understood that once the platform was set, beautiful facilities, a supportive administration, a supportive community, great facilities, that once all that was set in place, the athlete just had to show up and do his or her thing, and from that we've had just tremendous success, not so much in the championships and the trophies, but developing young kids into responsible young adults who felt really good about their experience at Campolindo. He knew the heart of an athlete and the heart of a kid, and how to get him to a heart of a champion. And I think that's one reason we had so much success in our athletics across the board. Something
you spoke about after winning the state game last month was about how the strength of Bob to make himself available to your kids kind of in his final days, and kind of how that was a healing process for them a little bit, and how in a way it really helped your team. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Our championship team this year, the juniors and the seniors were the last two freshman classes that Bob coached. So they were well connected with them. And also, he was their PE teacher, so he had all those kids go through PE as well. So he had a double connection with them. He squeezed everybody, and we squeezed all the kids in. And he was great. You know, he kept telling the kids, I wish I could be there, I wish I could be at state. We still had a game to go before we knew we were going to make it to state. But he kept just saying, you know, I wish I could be at state with you, I wish I could be at state with you. So then later on when we found out that, you know, he passed away on the Wednesday before state, my first thought was that, you know, when people come up to me and say, boy, that was nice you took the kids to see Bob, and I said, no. I mean, that was Bob giving a gift to the kids. You know, I felt it was Bob opening up and making one more stand for the kids. The way that game ended, the reporters all came up and they, you know, what do you think? What were you thinking when Remoto picked up the fumble? And my first thought was Bob Wilson. I mean, there was nothing could explain why that happened at that time in that situation, and that's all I could think about. And you know, so it was. I think Bob was very connected with the outcome of that game. There were guardian angels at work. There was no coaching at that point. There's no coaching on this planet, and so and I think the way the game ended, I think it was almost like a tribute to Bob. And so, you know, he's definitely in our hearts in a lot of ways. You know, we had him going into the game. I think after the game, everybody said, oh, yeah, he was there with us. Love his push-ups, because you just didn't do push-ups by 1, 2, 3, 4. It was always call out a kid's name on the team, and you're going to spell that kid's name. And it was a way for the kids to learn everybody on the team. So, and also if you screwed up, you know, all right, we're spelling Zolantakis. Don't screw it up.